Hi guys, it's Owen here from InvestinU again with some brilliant tips, tricks and shortcuts. Today's tip, I'm actually taking custom formatting to the next level. So we spoke about custom formatting last week. Well, I wanted to show you just a little advancement on that one. So hopefully today's one, nice short one again, but we're going to talk about the advanced custom formatting. So like always, let me just step out of this presentation here and I'm going to jump straight to my pre-created file here. So you can see last week we spoke about, using custom format, not sticking to the formats that Microsoft provide, but actually creating your own. So we had kind of account numbers, mobile numbers. I was showing you how to put text on top of a number, but keep that as a numeric as well. So this week, so if you didn't see any of that, make sure you look at last week's video just before we kind of continue on with this one. But this week, what I wanted to talk about now was customizing it that bit further. So one of the regular questions I get people asking me is, and this kind of comes from accountants and stuff like that, is I have a list of values and what I would like to do is show my negative values, okay, my negative values in a set of brackets and in red. So kind of for purposes of, ledgers and stuff like that as well. So leave my positives as they are, but I want my negatives appearing in brackets and in red. So kind of a common one as well. What I'm also going to look at is zeros, how you can deal with zeros, that kind of thing. But I'll explain all of that as we go through it. First thing you need to know is when you're working with formatting, any type of formatting, we spoke about this before, number one rule, you always need to highlight. So always make sure you're highlighting. So here's our first example here. You can see it's no formatting. I'm just going to use the one here on the right hand side. Now what I want to be able to do with this example is simply say anything that is in red, anything that's a negative value, I want it appearing in red and I want a set of brackets. I don't need the negative sign appearing in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight. And as we did last week, I'm going to right click and I'm going to come down to format cells. Okay, and I showed you a couple of different ways. I could also get that up here too, but I'm going to go to format cells. And that brings up the format cells dialog box. What we spoke about last week is all the custom the formats that Microsoft provide, but we showed the custom aspect. Now, here's what we need to know today to get this to really work. And that is that area there where you're seeing here. So we're going to highlight this area here. This area is actually broken into 4 key areas, separated by the semicolon. So you can see here, if I just move this out of the way, this area here is actually broken into positives, negatives, so positive values, negative values, zero values, and text values. Okay, so the key, and you can see I've separated each one, and that's the way we work it, is separated using the semicolon too. So what did I want here? What I simply wanted here was to say, leave my positive values, do nothing to them. Now, in order to do that, we can't just leave this area blank. So we can't, how do we say, skip past the positives, don't do anything to it? And the way we do that in custom formatting is we simply put a 0 in. The 0 says just leave it as is. Semicolon. Now I'm in the negative section that I spoke about here. Okay? And what did we say we wanted? Well, we wanted the negative appearing in red. So we need to put the color. We need to tell them what color we need here. And the way you do that is you do that through a squared bracket. So I'm going to put in the color red here. I could put blue in, but I'm going to go red. Okay? So I'm saying whatever value is in the negatives, I want appearing in red. And the format that I'd like it to follow is a bracket, 0, bracket. So see the way I'm not putting the negative sign in here because I don't need that appearing. I want all my negative values appearing in red, and you can see that here, and inside the set of brackets. Now, again, I don't need to do anything to the 0 values and the text values, so I can ignore those for the moment. And all I'm going to do is click OK, and look what it does for me instantly. All my positive values stay where they are, all my negative values appear in red and inside brackets. And you can see if I change any one of these then, so that goes to say -10, you can see it's always going to stay, again, with the nice red color on it and the brackets rounded. But again, if you want to see the true value, and I said this to you last week, because any formatting change you make is only cosmetic. If I click on the cell, look, it's still being seen by Excel in the background as -473. Absolutely brilliant. Nice, easy one for you. So remember the 4 key areas that make it up: positives, negatives, zeros, and text. So here's a good one then. And then I'll finish up that one today. What if we had one here and we said, okay, do you know what? What I'd like to be able to do, these are my stock levels. And what I'd like to be able to do is say, okay, do nothing to my positives. Negatives, well, we're not really going to have a negative stock value, but what I want here is instead of 0, Same stock. I want it to say no stock or update stock or must order stock. But if I was to do that and type that in as text, then I wouldn't be able to total all of these up. I'd have problems trying to total all these up because it's trying to total up text and it can't do that. Okay, so this is what we want. So what I'm going to do here, look, again, I'm going to highlight the same thing. I'm going to right click on the highlighted area. I can go up here as well. Format cells. And I'm going to come in here, look, back into custom. Now remember, what are our 4 key areas again? Positives, negatives. So we don't want to do anything to both of those. So watch, 0, semicolon, so do nothing to my positives. 0, semicolon, do nothing to the negatives. Now I'm in the 0 value area. So what do I want? Instead of it saying 0, I want it to say inside double quotes. Remember, we're dealing with text here. What do we do with text when we're dealing with formulas and custom formatting? We've got to remember it's inside the double quotes or the inverted commas, whatever you call it. So I'm going to call it no stock, for example. Okay, so I'm just going to put in the text here, no stock. All right, again, I'm not worried about the text values. I'm literally saying don't do anything to positive, don't do anything to the negatives, and any 0 values I now want appearing with the text no stock. I click OK. Look what it does. Best part about this is that's not text. Look, see the true value. It's been seen as 0, but I've just custom formatted to say, instead of displaying 0, display the text no stock, which means I can quite happily come down here, Alt equals, sum it all up, lovely little shortcut to have, hit enter, and look what it does. No problems. Okay, look guys, another one I just wanted to add on top of the custom formatting side of things. Like always, guys, if you like these videos, you can follow us. You can like or follow us on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on LinkedIn too. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll also find us at www.investinU.ie. As always, guys, stay tuned. I'll be back next week with more tips and tricks and shortcuts. Stay safe.